What's up, people? This is We Are Animals MMA. Thanks for joining me again on my analysis and prediction video. So we'll start first with this first event for UFC Ottawa. We got Merab Dvalishvili versus Brad Katona. All right, Merab Dvalishvili is 1-2 in the UFC. He's tied for 11 takedowns in a fight against Frankie Saenz, a Sambo player, primarily a wrestler. He's going against Brad Katona. He's undefeated. He's fighting on the SBG Ireland. He's an Ultimate Fighter winner and a BJJ black belt. Yeah, like 3 subs and 1 TKO on his record. Brad Katona is an orthodox fighter. He has very nice kicks from his stance. He'll shoot him like a nice fast body kick or fast head kick. He doesn't have very much head movement. He either go to like a shell up defense, high guard, or he'll typically try to stay out of range for to avoid those big strikes, and not get hit with those. When he does get taken down, he looks to get right back up right away. Look for underhooks or getting his feet on the hips and pushing off. But he primarily likes to stay on his feet. But he is a BJJ black belt. He hasn't gone to that too much lately. He likes to use long range strikes, damage you with kicks and feints to draw you out, to draw out your strikes. In his last fight against Matthew Lopez, he was taking some shots, but he was getting Lopez with some shots as well, and ended up using his good cardio in the 3rd round to get a takedown and eventually look for a submission. But it was an interesting little sequence there at the end of that 3rd round. He tried to take Lopez's back, and Lopez did like a forward roll, and Katona ended up staying on top in like a riding position, and he landed a nice elbow on Katona, and Katona ended up trying to grab like a single, and he got his arm trapped as Katona jumped around to the back, and he sunk in the choke, and he had his arm trapped, and he ended up almost choking him out. Well, he did choke him out. He got dazed at the end of that round and was stumbling across the cage after the 3rd round bell rang. And the ref didn't end up calling. He just called it at the end of action, the end of the regulation of that fight, and he didn't get this sub win. But technically, he got a decision win, and then he subbed him. Merab Dvalishvili is primarily a wrestler, a Sambo player. Likes to wrestle on the stand up. He's very light on his feet, and he has very fast kicks, so he'll do low leg kicks, body kicks with either leg, and high kicks. He uses those to sort of get his opponents flustered so that they can like overreach. And if they overreach, he'll shoot him for a takedown. He'll go double legs and single legs. Like I said, he's very good at wrestling. He has very good control on top. He drives through on his takedowns, so when he shoots a double, he'll drive through to his opponent against the cage, and as his opponents are like sitting down along the cage with their legs outstretched, he'll wrap them up in like a triangle position with his legs and control them from there, and then also progress to try to get to mount or get in a half guard position and land some elbows and good ground and pound. He'll also use like a behind the back wrist control grip, so with his like right hand and reach around his opponent's back and try to trap their forehand, their posting hand, so they won't be able to use that to get up. He also is nice on grab a single leg, and if his opponent's hips are away, he'll raise that single leg with his hand to elevate the leg to get his opponents off balance, and uses his other leg to sweep the standing leg to transition to a nice beautiful takedown. He also has good cardio with his relentless pace. He strikes from every position in the clinches, along the cage. Every chance he gets, he's using to throw punches. And he'll do nice front kicks as well to keep his opponents off him if he's tired and they're pressing forward, and when he doesn't want to exactly engage. But he's definitely a game fighter despite his record. But my prediction for this video is going to be Brad Katona by split decision. I just think that his BJJ skills will be enough to hold off Philly on the ground. He'll definitely get taken down, but off his back he'll look for submissions, and he'll also strike from there as well. So I think he's just a little more polished in the stand-up department with his kickboxing. I think it'll be a very, very close fight. It's gonna come down to the judges. But I'm gonna end up going with Brad Katona to take home the victory. Next, we got Cub Swanson and Shane Burgos. This is looking to be one of the more exciting fights on paper. Cub Swanson, OG of the game, WEC vet, UFC vet, been in the game for a while. Shane Burgos, 11-1, got a submission armbar in his last win. Has very good boxing. So interesting style matchup. So the OG Cub Swanson, he's on a 3-fight losing streak. His last win was against the GOAT, Artem Lobov, which was a few years back. And he got 2 submission losses in his last 3. So he really needs a W against Shane Burgos here. Cub's are primarily a stand-up fighter. He likes to move around a lot. He'll switch orthodox to southpaw. He pretty much throws every strike there is. Keep his hands down low. He'll shoot him jabs to the head, jabs to the body. He'll throw spinning back fists. He really likes to attack the legs when he's trying to set up strikes. In his southpaw, he really has a nice like a stepping right hook. So we'll do like a right hand or a stepping right hook into a southpaw left hook as you're like moving away from him. He likes to stay on the move to try to avoid your big shots and look for some opportunities to land his big shots. On the ground, Cub is a very accomplished BJJ practitioner, and against Shane Burgos, who is also very good on the ground. I don't think this fight will end up going to the ground. I think it'll be a stand-up fight, but Cub is competent in that area as well. Now, Shane Burgos is a pressure style fighter, so he likes to go forward. He has a very nice jab and really likes to get in the boxing range. He does use kicks. He used some of those low kicks in his last fight, closer to the end of that match. He did get dropped in his last 2 fights. He got a KO loss to was it Calvin Cater, I believe. He lost to by knockout. In his last fight, he did get knocked down, but he recovered beautifully and ended up getting a submission armbar. He has good body shots as well, so he'll attack the liver, like a left hook to the liver or a right hook to the body. He really likes to get inside, especially when opponents are trying to escape across when their backs against the cage and they're trying to escape. He'll use his body shots to punish them as they try to escape out of his range. But I'm gonna go with a bold prediction in this fight. I'm gonna go with a draw. I can see Burgos pushing forward, using his jab, using his body hooks, left hooks to the head, as Cub Swanson uses his movement-based style to move around, pick him apart from the outside. In a stand-up battle, the judges will see Burgos pushing forward, landing some shots. Cub will land some shots on Burgos, and neither fighters, Cub Swanson, I can see him landing them shots and is picking him apart from the outside, and he gets hit, Burgos gets hit. I just see the judges giving it a close fight and a draw. Alright, now we go to the co-main event. Derek Brunson versus Elias Theodorou. Derek Brunson's on 2-fight loss KO streak. He's also a very good wrestler as well with tremendous knockout power. Elias Theodorou's on a 3-fight win streak in the middleweight division. He's a Ultimate Fighter winner as well, and a ring boy for Invicta. Alright, Derek Brunson is a very good wrestler. He's on a 2-fight KO loss streak to Israel Adesanya. He got knocked up by Jacare Souza. He's not very good in the stand-up. He runs forward with his hands up. He'll look for a left hand. He's usually looking for that power left hand. He looks very uncomfortable on his feet. So he did KO some good opponents, don't get me wrong, with good timing and good accuracy on those shots. But he looks very uncomfortable in the stand-up, and has about like one move or so, which is just look for that left hand. But he does set it up with the jab sometimes, or he'll just run for it with his chin up in the air and look for rush takedowns. He's very good in his takedowns, power doubles, body locks, and he'll use those to try to get the fight to the ground. His last 4 fights all ended in the first round. He came out on the wrong side of 2 KOs, and he also got 2 KO victories. Don't get it twisted though, Brunson does have great power in his hands, and he has 6 KOs in the UFC, which definitely makes him a threat in that division. Elias has a very unique style. He uses like an off-timing rhythm that he uses against his opponents. It's a very unique timing aspect. Like, it's very untraditional in his movements. He'll like to throw like side kicks to the body. He'll throw back fist to the head. He's very unpredictable, I would say, in the striking approach. One of the things I like about him is he'll throw from his southpaw stance. He'll throw a back fist with his lead hand into a left hook, and then a right uppercut, or he'll throw a right hand, and if he misses that right hand, he'll follow it up with a kick off the same side, so which lands on his opponents. And he typically is a movement-based fighter, and he looks to outpoint his opponents. He's very risk averse, so the thing is too, and especially in the clinch, he's very good in the clinch, very deceiving. He'll go for a Muay Thai clinch to try to land knees and elbows over the top, and it'll also work from the single collar, where he'll hold a left hand collar tie, and he'll throw a right elbow over the top as well, and he'll try to land uppercuts from that same side arm as well. So he's very unpredictable in those aspects of his game. He does get taken down, but he does well using his great cardio to stand up after he gets taken down. I think with his moves that he does very awkward, he'll be able to definitely get Derek Brunson with those shots and confuse him in the stand-up department, and use that movement, that circular movement he likes to use along the cage and throughout the fight to avoid takedowns. Another beautiful move he used against Eric Anders is also a good hard hitter as well in that division. He used like a spinning back fist, and if he missed the spinning back fist, he'll go for the inside low kick. He did like about 3 times during the fight, which is very, very unique to his style and to his game. But my prediction for this video is going to be Elias Theodorou by decision. I just think his awkward style is going to frustrate Brunson and get Brunson overswinging as usual. With that awkward style, it frustrates a lot of the top sound stand-up fighters in the UFC. If it frustrates them, imagine what it would do to Derek Brunson, who looks just out of sorts when he's out there in the stand-up realm. And when Elias mixed it up with low kicks and high kicks and every other strike and unorthodox strike, I guarantee you Derek Brunson never seen anything unique as an Elias Theodorou. So going with Elias to use that movement from the outside and land strikes and get Derek frustrated and end up winning a split decision or a unanimous decision. Now we go to the main event. Donald Cerrone versus Iaquinta. This is one of the most highly anticipated matchups in the lightweight division. It's going to really determine the future for the lightweight title. Iaquinta, he beat Kevin Lee in his last fight. He looked excellent in that fight. He also went to a decision with Khabib on short notice in a title matchup. He's consider him like a wrestler type boxer. Cerrone, as everybody knows, the cowboy, he's a kickboxer, very good kicks, good with his hands, and he has very good BJJ and very solid wrestling as well. Raging Al Iaquinta. Raging Al is he's a good boxer and also a good wrestler. I would say he's an overall very good MMA style fighter. Um, very good jabs in his stance. He likes to go to his right hand. That's his power hand. So he'll slip off punches to try to land his right hand. With 1-2s, he'll do stepping jabs and a jab to the body followed by an overhand. He'll do switch stance moves from his orthodox position. So when his opponents are retreating, he'll step into a right hand from his orthodox position. Will bring his right leg forward and then finish it off with like a left hand, a left hook to the body, or a left hand to the head from that new stance to track his opponent down. He's a pretty good cage cutter as well, who move laterally to cut his opponents off, to cut their angles of retreat, to cut that off. He does get taken down in his fights, but he's very good defensively as far as avoiding damage and avoiding submissions in positions on the ground, and scrambles in multiple positions in the ground. Whether his back gets taken up, he'll avoid the choke, and he'll also avoid try to get minimum damage to his face. He's not afraid to be hit, so he's very comfortable getting punched in there, so he won't panic and leave a position open. As far as subs go, he does throw occasional kicks in there as well. He'll throw a high kick, and he'll also throw actually one of his nice moves that he was doing against Kevin Lee. Well, mixing up his striking as an MMA fighter, he'll reach down for the leg to grab like a single leg, let the leg go, and then spin into like a spinning back fist or a spinning elbow attack. So he's adding some new variables to his game. But I would say his kicking defense is not too good. He does take body kicks, and you know Cerrone has very good kicks, and he'll block a head kick, but he won't really block it like right. You know, he'll block it with like a one hand, and you really want to block those head kicks with two to create like a cushion to absorb that shock of the kick. He'll do well to pressure Cerrone, pressure him back with boxing and try to keep Cerrone in his boxing range and mix in an occasional takedown attempt. So he can shoot real takedowns and feint takedowns and then strike off of those and just stay in the face and pepper Cerrone with his jabs and look for his big right hand. Well, we all know who the Cowboy is. Most wins in the UFC, 22. Most finishes, 16. He's back at lightweight now, looking to get that title shot. He got a TKO over Alex Hernandez in his last fight. He has 17 submissions and 10 KOs in his career. So he's a very striker, but we all know his game is definitely a striking game. He has beautiful kicks and knees and switch kicks. So he'll do switch kicks to the heads. But the thing is, he sets it up like a veteran he is. So he'll throw like a 1-2 and then slip in that switch lead leg high kick right to your head. And if you're pressuring him and you pressure Cerrone, he'll hit you with that intercepting knee. So he'll just lift up his knee, his left or right knee, and he'll lean back and then try to connect you in your chest or your head. So he'll use that when his opponents try to get into his boxing range. Against his last fight against Hernandez, they were definitely thrown down in there, but Hernandez would miss his shots, and then Cerrone would he'll blitz forward with like a 4 or 5 punch combinations and like finishing it with kicks. So he'll even add to his strikes to build his strikes up throughout a fight, which makes him a very dangerous opponent. He'll also shoot takedowns on occasion too. If you pressure him and he doesn't like it, he'll take you down. He has very good returns and mat returns as well on the ground, and we all know he's very good with his submissions as well. I would say Cerrone is probably one of the better fighters in the UFC in the clinch, with the tie clinch, with his elbows and knees. His knees are very dangerous and puts people out when he gets his opponents in that range. He also disguises his kicks well with his punches. So he'll throw either a right hand from his orthodox position, and he'll follow it up like directly with a kick right behind it. So if he's catching with that 1-2 earlier in the night, say early in the rounds of that fight, he'll build off of that, and he'll throw like maybe a feint jab, and then a right hand, maybe a short right hand, followed by that high kick, which catches his opponents off guard. Very, very beautiful stuff. But I would definitely give the advantage, the boxing advantage to Iaquinta and the kicking advantage to Cerrone. I would say they're fairly be even on the ground. I think Cerrone's volume with his kick, so maybe hurt Iaquinta a little more there, but he can definitely get taken out by those big right hands of Iaquinta. But I think for this fight, I'm gonna have to go with Cerrone by unanimous decision. I think it's gonna be a 5-round epic battle, as these past couple UFC events has been in the main events. I think this one's gonna be one for the history books. I just think Cerrone will be able to use his kicks on Iaquinta and stop those takedowns. Maybe shooting a couple of takedowns of his own, and uses his positioning, especially in the clinch, where I think he'll do the most damage to Iaquinta when he's in that clinch range. Not in the boxing range, and he'll either beat Iaquinta at that outside kicking range or in the clinch range. So I think those two ranges are Cerrone's best attributes. And as far as Iaquinta goes, his range is definitely with the boxing range, and looking to get that right hand early on Cerrone. Cerrone's a slow starter. Maybe Iaquinta can work the body. He does do throw some nice body shots as well, with right hooks or left hooks to the body and going up top. But it's going to be a great war, I believe, on paper, and it's probably be the fight of the night, and I can't wait to see it. Alright, that's the end of my video. This is We Are Animals MMA. Be sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, and I'll be looking at some further work. I'm working in the process of making some different, unique material in MMA, so be sure to look out for that. Peace.